So I decided to go ahead and give a little briefing on why I don't think that I'm going to be giving as much advice on relationships anymore. So we're going to type in divide. Divide is an ace of diamonds. And the reason why I say divide is because I feel like these podcasts, YouTube channels, everyone that is telling you information on relationships, it seems like a twist, a tug, a push, a pull between the men and the women giving the advice. There are literally people dividing men and women away from each other, but you're giving relationship advice on how to be with each other. So the Ace of Diamonds has a Queen of Diamonds in Mercury. Now, for me, the way that I see it is a lot of women are listening to other women on telling them how to get a man, and they're telling them, oh, spend his money. Oh, he got to have a check first. Or, oh, he has to be a boss. Or, girl, make sure you get your hair and your nails done. As you can see, it says shopping, overspending, external beauty, hairdresser or hairstyle. So everything that to do with overspending of a man's money, that if you meet him, you're not entitled to anything from anyone. And that's across the board to everyone. There is no reason for us to divide. Then it has Five of Hearts in Venus. And in Venus is your love language. So to have free loving and to have, well, more so to have run away, because everyone tells you, oh, you should run away because of this, or you should run away because of that. I'm even guilty of it myself. And then you see it has bad breakup or divorce. The divide comes from literally people telling you to do this or telling you to do that, and then you go home and you're picking fights with someone that knows you better than the people on the internet. And then insecure. So insecurities are nearly festering because people are telling you what they would do. And then you see that it has Three of Clubs in Mars. Mars is action, Mars is energy. You can see right here that it says relationship loss and grief. Listening to these people, you're going to lose your relationship. And then worry, anxiety. That's the result of you listening to other people on what to do in your relationship, where only you and your significant other knows what to do in your relationship. Now, why am I even saying this? Because for me, I feel like the Jack of Clubs could symbolize, because it says hip hop and spoken word. Now, I'm going to jump out on a limb and I'm going to say spoken word, and then I'm going to also say creative thought, because when we're on these platforms and we're making these videos, this is literally our creative thought. So, by someone else's creative thought, which is the result, someone else's creative thought, you're making decisions on what to do in your relationship. The Nine of Hearts. You're listening to people literally be your counselor and tell you what to do in your relationship. And now you're left with heartbreak because you're feeling like you're not fulfilled in your relationship. Then you have the Three of Spades in Jupiter. There are men telling other men that they have to work multiple jobs. Well, they're not telling them to work multiple jobs, but that's what some people are equating it to. They are going to go get multiple jobs because they have men telling them that they shouldn't be getting into a relationship unless they are financially stable enough to be in a relationship to fully take care of a woman. Again, everyone has to do what they feel is right for their own relationship. Then you have the Seven of Clubs and Uranus. Now, for me, I see this as the self-hexing, the negative talk. So once you start to listen to all of the outside talk, the outside chatter about what goes on inside of your intimate relationship, you start to have that doubt, and you start to be pessimistic, and you start to put negativity, speaking negative all over your relationship. You're speaking negative thoughts all to your spouse, and they're looking at you like, hey, where did this come from? Whole time you're listening to someone, a stranger on the internet. And then you have the Five of Diamonds and Neptune. So right here it says roller coaster of emotions, move to a new home, and then it says change within the home. So what is that? That is you being at home, all emotional to your significant other, being right delusional, because this is Neptune. Neptune is delusions. Whole time, do what works for within your household, because you want him to move you to a big house out the hood or whatever, and right now he's not able to afford that, and you're trying to force that on him. Or with the man, you're trying to force her to quit a job that she really doesn't want to quit because you heard someone tell you that you're supposed to have her at home barefoot and pregnant, kicking her feet up, basically. Then the nine of diamonds. So the nine of diamonds is basically, the way that I see it is chasing the dream, chasing some goals that someone else set for you. Again, always, always, always spend within your own means. Honestly, here I go giving pep talk, but honestly, I feel like people should spend below their means so that they're not caught out here lacking, out in debt, because the people on the internet ain't coming to save you. Then for me, okay, so the thing that stood out for me the most when I seen the moon in the seven of spades, and the moon is the woman. And a lot of times I see women out here, and I see spiritual work right here in the manifestation of dreams. Now I see women out here doing spiritual work. They're doing love spells and things like that. You have people teaching you how to do love spells, or they're doing love spells for you, or you're getting a reading on if he loves me, or if he loves, like things like that, like trying to force something. Now you're putting someone in a predicament that they know nothing about, and you're trying to force yourself onto someone. Life should not be about force. You shouldn't force someone to be with you. You shouldn't force someone to love you. Also, with the Queen of Spades, I don't know how I missed this. The Queen of Spades, it says right here, using spiritual work to influence, like using your spiritual power to influence the material world. Another one, this is another like manifestation of that. People not doing the inner work, because inner work is here also. People not doing the inner work and trying to do, like, put band-aids on broken relationships, things that already are broken. And then you're listening to people, and you already know that things might be rocky at home. Now you're listening to someone, and now it's worse at home. You have to do what's best for you. Every person out there has to do what is best for them in their life. And then also I see isolation from the world, because honestly, like, if you're listening to people on the internet and they're telling you this and that and that and this, and you're being pulled this way, that way, that way, that way, people start to get depressed, and then they want to isolate themselves from the world. They don't want to be around anyone else. Why? Because they done got themselves caught up into some stuff that honestly probably could have been avoided. And now we have the two of clubs. You have fears. You have argument. So you're coming home and you're arguing. You're starting fights with your spouse because of, again, something that you heard on the internet. When the whole time, a lot of times, I hear them telling you to communicate with your spouse. Right here, it says communication. Everybody doesn't receive information the same way. So one person could be like, okay, I understand that I overstand. I get that I have to go communicate with my spouse. Another person is like, I need to tell her about herself. Or, girl, I need to go tell him about himself. And it's like, whole time, no. Tell yourself about yourself. Remember, that inner work. That Queen of Spades. Now, that was my opinion on the great divide that happens with podcasting amongst the men and the women. Now, I thought about it, and no, I am not going to not do my videos anymore, but I am going to try to be more conscious of leave him, because everybody has to be met where they are. Everybody is not going to leave when you say leave, and they're not going to stay just because you say stay. Everybody has to do what works for them in their life. And that's the thing that I want this channel to keep on moving forward with. It's called Inner Healer. And we heal by loving on ourselves more, learning more about ourselves. That's why I'm so into learning about self